Those are good words.
Yes.
I know when I looked it up, I said, well, I knew what I felt, but then I said, I saw the synonym noble, distinguished. And so when we're talking about social enterprise and fulfilling a need of the community, wow, like a noble social enterprise, a respectful social enterprise. What was the word you used? You said humble.
Okay. I can't remember.
Yeah, and that's important in business, right? Because sometimes we can get caught up in the business of it all and we forget to be humble. So dignified social enterprise, and we saw a lot of that while we were in Kenya.
Yes, we did.
Which was something that really inspired me to have this conversation. So we've talked about what dignified means to us. So now, if you would share, in our recent trip to Kenya, what examples of social enterprise did you see or encounter?
Just driving down the streets, all the little businesses on the side building that bedroom sets and living room sets and hair and just like making clothes. It was just a lot, like a plethora of just everything. Just driving down the street.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed with the selling of used clothing.
Yeah.
A lot of jeans, a lot of T-shirts. The Kenyan people came across as very dignified and humble people, and they wore clothing that was very conservative.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that. You didn't see a lot of clothing that didn't fit their culture or their way of life.
Yeah. And that's what was beautiful. You could almost see like some of the ladies when we would rise, particularly the day that we had to get up at the break of dawn for the safari.
Yeah.
So to see how the community woke up.
Yes.
And how the sun had not even come up yet.
Right.
And people were walking the streets.
Yes.
But really what caught my attention were the ladies. Like you could tell the ladies were wearing custom clothing.
Yes.
Like the dresses that they were wearing. You could see the African motif throughout, whether it was a strip of cloth on the skirt or along the neckline, and it was practical. It wasn't like fussy clothing.
Right.
It was just practical clothes that they put on to get from point A to point B walking.
Yeah.
Yes. Still fitting the culture. And I noticed a few women who were carrying their children on their backs that were wrapped in material that was culturally correct to the community.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a fascinating, kind of real humbling experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it really drives home that sense of dignity, because sometimes, here in the States, we, you hear different motivations for why folks do things, but seeing Kenya from that lens, it really humbles you.
Yes.
And it transforms you to want to think differently, move differently, and really take a different look at it. If you're an entrepreneur, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? And so we know that from what we witnessed, that wasn't for fame or fashion.
Correct.
That was just living.
Yes.
Day, yeah.
Yes.
Everyday living.
Yes.
So we saw used clothing, and that was everywhere. We saw food. We even saw restaurants.
Yes. I was talking to it was just like they just made it, and they just figured it out. It was like they had the what are they called? The drapes, like for to block out the sun, and they had the little kitchen over here.
Yes,
and they was running around with the bowls. They just figured it was. I forgot about.
Yes, just figured. I mean, they had tables. Where people would just walk by. Take a seat, and they're making the food right there under fire.
Right.
Like there's no hot plates. There's no electricity.
Just on the spot.
On the spot. And that's social enterprise, fulfilling a need of hunger, of food, right? We see of clothing. We also saw walking down the streets, right? The fast, it was all kind of things they were selling while you was in traffic.
Cards.
Yes. And then you would think that there were moments when we were driving, and I think you all both saw it, because I think we all commented on it, how there were people hauling like these I don't even call it trailers, or that usually typically you would see an animal,
right,
or a truck.
They were wagons. And they looked homemade. As if they had made those wagons. Everything that we saw, even with Saray mentioned the bedroom suits, even with that, I noticed that they were carving.
Yes.
They were wood carving those bedroom suits and then finishing them and putting out on the street for display for you to purchase.
Yeah.
Right. So everything was made right there.
Yes.
There was nothing shipped in.
Yes.
There was nothing there were no semis unloading.
You're right.
And there's no Amazon distribution center to bring items in. I mean, everything there they were self-sufficient.
Yes. Yes, and they were buying from each other.
Each other.
That I'd like to see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fruit stands, the chapati bread.
Yes.
They were, buying from each other. Anytime we would come out of a space, you would see like a corner store, right? And it would you would barter. You could tell there was some bartering as well. There may not have been exchange of Kenyan shillings, but there was that sense of community. And so you know that needs are being met with that.
Yes.
Which is awesome. So those